Hello Malaysians, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much. In today's video, I would like to uh, make my comments on the reasons given by our good friend Akmal Saleh in the recent Youth UMNO convention to call for separation with the Madani government. Now, first of all, we all know as a background that Akmal Saleh has been always talking about separating from the Pakatan Harapan government simply because they have DAP in it and wanting to forge a unity with Parti Islam Malaysia under their Muafakat Nasional. And so this convention is his tactical move to influence the UMNO assembly meeting in another 2 weeks' time and put the senior party leaders in a situation where they need to consider the so-called demands of the grassroots represented by the youth leaders and so forth. So I can see this as a tactical move on Akmal's part. Before this is just shouting in the dark or just shouting as loudly as he can and being boisterous and bullying like, and not once that he dares to speak in front of non-Malays in a convention. He's always with his own kind, and that's how bullies are usually. So before I go over the reasons that was quoted by Free Malaysia Today for UMNO to leave Pakatan Harapan and to leave the unity government. Now let me recall or recap first what UMNO has gotten from the alliance or to be with the unity government and with Pakatan Harapan. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Who was it that got the deputy prime minister post? Even though it's a small party, but UMNO got a deputy prime minister post. Now, the other thing is that, according to one report, who was it that got many more positions of ministers and deputy ministers than DAP, even though DAP has more seats? Again, UMNO. And then the third thing is, who was it that carried the letter of pardon of Najib? It was Anwar Ibrahim. Without the Prime Minister, they would not be able to bring the letter of pardon to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, because that, as far as I understand, is the protocol if you want to jump the line. If not, you will have to wait several years before you can actually get to see the pardons board. And finally, who was it that did not celebrate when Najib Tun Razak was found guilty of the 1MDB quite recently? Anwar did not celebrate. The fact that Yeo Bee Yin and Tony Poor of the DAP seem to celebrate is not the representative of the DAP in that sense. They are both, their actions were what I call bodoh and bangang, because those are something which is against the budaya Melayu actually, and also the Islamic value system, and it's also not a very good political thing to do to your political partner. Now there are those who says that, well, it's nothing wrong with celebrating someone who is a criminal. Yes, but you need to look at the context, and if you work without context and do everything without context, then you are an imbecile, not just because you are principled, but an imbecile, because things in life requires context. Without context, there is no justification for doing anything simply because that is something what is called principle. Okay, now let's move on to what the Free Malaysia Today has reported as to the great sins of Madani government. So the first thing Akmal said that one of the faults of Madani government was the SOC issue. Now, believe it or not, he's saying that the Allah SOC issue is the fault of the Madani government. Now, when was it that the Madani government put the SOC with the Allah name on it? It was done by KK Mat, and nobody knows who did it, and it was easily could be a mistake, but then some influencer had made it prominent, and Akmal Saleh had jumped on it and threatened so many things to the KK Mat. Even though the KK Mat leadership had apologized many times and finally was even charged in court and later on fined, but still he went on and on and on. There was even a mufti who said that there was nothing wrong with what the KK Mat did because it was simply an accident, that we shouldn't actually pursue this going on, asking for boycott and also threatening so many things. And remember that there were 3 Molotov cocktails thrown at 3 different locations of KK Mat, and who should be blamed for this? If not those who were making these racial statements that is beyond what the issue was in the beginning. So how is it that this is a Madani fault? According to Akmal, they were trying to defend the dignity of Islam, but they are the one that has been taken to task, meaning he was called by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong to say, stop doing this nonsense. And he says that is the fault of Madani. That was the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Which side does Akmal understand that Yang di-Pertuan Agong is part of the Madani government? Not sure how he thinks like that, okay? So that was the first one. Then second one, he said, look at the flag issue. The flag issue is also the same. We're trying to defend the dignity. Well, I didn't see you defending any dignity when UMNO made that blunder. I didn't see you, Akmal, doing the same thing when the Kementerian Pendidikan also did the blunder. And also, your friend, PAS, also did the blunder. So where's this defending of dignity? Where is it? And remember, who was it that asked crowds of people to go to Penang to teach this APEC, the word APEC, a lesson in how to fix up the flag? Who was it? And this is the fault of the Madani government? Who was it that created this harmonious relationship? It was already reported to the police, and the police was taking action, and yet there was still this idea of going there to cause problems. And when Akmal arrived there, the Lawyers for Liberty, Zaid, asked him to debate about this issue. He didn't do it. And this is again the mark of a bully. A bully who has a loud voice, also with his fellow people, never being brave enough to face those whom he called as not having loyalty to Malaysia, and also not being able to debate intellectually with people who actually have brains. Finally, the third thing was about the alcohol issue, about the Minister Tiong. Well, first of all, my question to Akmal was, why didn't you go and blast the Sarawak people? Why didn't you go and blast GPS Abang Joe? Hey, your people don't know Malay or Islamic culture about alcohol. It's okay for you to do that in Sarawak, but not here in Peninsula. Why didn't he say so? It's the Madani's government fault. Anwar Ibrahim had said that Tiong given a letter of reprimand, and Tiong had explained that it was taken over by a private firm and things like that. But again, well, it's no excuse for that. And he was reprimanded. And where is this, the Madani is at fault and crossing this red line? And why are you not all over the Sarawak people and all over GPS? Oh yes, because UMNO wants to be friend with GPS. So that's how your loyalty works, is it? Okay. And then we have the Yeo Bee Yin issue. It was clearly a stupid mistake by Yeo Bee Yin, and I pointed it out, even though I didn't call her stupid. I said the action was stupid. If you don't know the culture of Malays and political correctness, then I don't have anything else to say but stupid. Okay, it's better than insulting. Again, so when Tony Pua then supported, say, what's wrong with celebrating a criminal being put in jail and all that? Well, the statement of Tony Pua is bangang. I didn't say Tony Pua was bangang, but that statement is bangang. You don't do those things in the our culture and Malay culture, actually. So how is this the Madani fault? The AP, Anthony Loke, was kept quiet, and I think he was seething in anger at both of them. So how is this Madani's fault? He was just speaking. Okay, so here is the situation of so-called the reasons that he says UMNO should leave the coalition. Okay, now the third thing I would like to say is that let's look at some interesting facts. Number one, Akmal is calling for the UMNO leaders who have the posts of ministers and deputy ministers and all the money and allocation to leave the Pakatan Harapan or the unity government. Even if you leave, the government is still intact. And Akmal is not ashamed because he's safe in Malacca. He's not a federal minister. Is he not embarrassed that he's asking others to relinquish their salaries and their allowances and their perks while he still gets it? Now, I wonder if he was a minister, God forbid, that he would say the same thing. The next one is about him saying, oh, well, this is when people say, well, this statement does not have the support of the top management or the top leaders of UMNO. He said, well, Zahid was the one who agreed to the convention. Zahid agreed you to have convention to talk sense. Zahid did not agree for you to have convention to talk nonsense. Even his daughter had already said that, please use the convention, talk logically. Don't rile up emotions, don't mobilize popular support just to go and say stay or don't stay. Go and read. Or Akmal say, no, we are not yes men and we should do what we want to do. And he's giving the impression that Zahid agrees. Please lah, how stupid do you think we are? And that we are not having to read anything. I mean, we are not part of those in the convention. Those in the convention, maybe they don't do reading enough lah. Okay. So with that, we see that the convention was simply Akmal's own personal selfish self to promote the idea of leaving the government and joining Parti Islam se-Malaysia. And then we will see what happened. So with that, thank you very much for tuning in. These are my commentaries. Not that difficult to talk to to comment on something that is so simplistic and so not even challenging any intellectual capabilities to understand. With that, thank you very much. Hi everybody. If you would like to own my book and have my signature as well as a personal note from me, please follow the instruction. Thank you.